When you think of Port Stephens, you think of golden beaches, glistening water and picturesque scenery. But there's so much more to this incredible destination that's just waiting to be discovered by you. With an abundance of local, organic, homegrown produce available, Port Stephens is a foodie's dream. The diverse and delicious range of dining options in Port Stephens is beautifully matched by the picturesque scenery. One place where you can experience the freshest local ingredients cooked superbly is Kookaburra restaurant at Bob's Farm. What can visitors experience when they come to Kookaburra restaurant?
Well, the whole reason for Kookaburra restaurant to be here is to be able to provide visitors to Port Stephens with fresh barramundi. You can label it fresh, but if you can see it swimming, then you know it's fresh.
Doesn't get fresher than that, does it?
It doesn't get any fresher than that, exactly.
So talk us through the tour. What do people experience?
Well, when they go up into the shed, it looks quite overwhelming with fiberglass tanks and water flowing this way and that way. But with a short explanation and a description of the way the system works, people soon realise how we're doing it. And the visitor is able to feed the fish. They're able to attract the fish to the surface and see the quantities that are held in the tanks. For example, there's 1,000 fish in every tank roughly. And with a fish that lives on the bottom, you're not going to see much unless you can get the fish to come to the surface. And that's an easy trick that we can show them how to do that. Barramundi are predators, they're always on the lookout for movement. So if you're moving in their direction or in their vicinity, they're going to want to know what's going on. So they'll come up to you.
And you grow hydroponic vegetables here as well?
Yes, as well. It's part of the filtration system that keeps 50 tonne of barramundi swimming for 10 months. That filter system extracts waste from the digestion of the food pellets, and the main waste is nitrate. Nitrate's a plant fertiliser. We can save the water that's used to flush the filters out on a daily basis. We can save that water and use it to grow hydroponic vegetables because leafy greens need nitrogen, potassium and phosphorus, and we can supply all the nitrates thanks to the fish.
If you love your oysters, then Hulbert's Oyster Farm is not to be missed. They've been the leading oyster growing and processing business in Port Stephens for more than 5 generations. And whilst you're there, keep an eye out for the oyster shuckers who are always hard at work. You'll be spoiled for choice with the range of produce to try. You can take your delicious goodies away with you or pull up a seat and soak up the magnificent views of Port Stephens while dining al fresco. Michael Jenkins is the executive chef here at Anchorage, Port Stephens. Michael, what do you love about creating food in a destination like Port Stephens?
I think in a destination like here, it's just so available and fresh. It's really inspirational to be able to take the local produce from just in our back door and create menus out of that.
What are some of your favourite ingredients to cook with?
At the moment, I'm really enjoying the seafood. So the Hulberts, the rock oysters that we get from the local area are fantastic, nice and plump and juicy. And the fish in the area has been unreal as well, so I've really been enjoying that.
And do you have to look far outside of Port Stephens when you're creating your menu, or is a lot of it is provided here?
I always try and work on local first, then regional. And if I can't do that, I'll work on Australian.
And what's this dish we've got in front of us? Is this a lot of local produce?
This one's, yes it is. This is just a local little seafood platter we just put together. It's like a little sharing plate for 2. We've got some the local oysters on there, the prawns are local, the salmon's Tasmanian salmon that we've cured.
What other local produce do you source besides your seafood?
Eggs, we got local organic eggs. They're from a couple of kilometres down the road. They come to us fresh and beautiful every day. Fruit and vegetables, a lot of the fruit and vegetables we get are from this region. And just outside the region, the Manning Valley, we get all our beef from there as well.
Speaking of fruit and vegetables, you can't go past the Real Tomato Farm Shop at Bob's Farm. They have so much on offer, including the product that people come from far and wide to experience, Anna Bay tomatoes. Now, taking the time to buy your produce from a farm stall will not only help support the locals, but it will also give you a taste sensation that you just won't find in the supermarkets. The produce is fresh, it's flavoursome, and it will last a lot longer. If you love macadamias, you'll be in heaven at this next place, Macadamia Macadamia Farm. They have a huge variety of macadamia products to introduce you to, so you can indulge your cravings or perhaps pick up a little gift to take home. If you have some time to relax, you can pull up a seat and enjoy a coffee and treat on site, while your little ones will have a ball playing on the outdoor equipment. Scott, how many different types of macadamia trees have you got here?
We have about 5 different varieties, yeah. So basically just means that when one style of tree is not producing so heavy, the other style is, so it gives you a good running average every year. So basically you can count on that size crop.
Tell us about some of your macadamia products.
Yeah, with the products, mate, we've been working at that for about 15 years. We have different products like macadamia spread. We have honey, which is, we bring hives in to cross-pollinate macadamia trees. So that honey is extracted. We use that honey, macadamia honey with macadamia chip on top. And then we have all the flavouring. So we have chocolate coated, chilli, curry, garlic, honey coated, which is a very popular flavour. And with that, ones like honey, we do other ones like cinnamon and honey and coconut and honey and things like that, because they're very popular. That sweet nut seems to be a good seller. Yeah, that seems to be the most popular flavour.
Wonderful. And show us, have you got a macadamia there?
I have, mate. We've got one of the macadamias there, still in its husk. So they come in a husk like that. Inside that husk.
Is your tooth all right?
No, yeah, they're all good. So inside that husk you have the brown shell, which is like that. And then you end up with your macadamia like such. Once you crack that macadamia, the kernel inside that shell is what we eat, is that white kernel. And at that form it would taste like coconut. Once it's dried, you'd hear it rattle inside the shell, they crack the shell, falls out, tastes like a crunchy macadamia. And that's what, you know, the people are used to eating, is that real crunchy, dry macadamia.
Now, what would a visit to Port Stephens be without sampling some beer? Murray's Craft Brewing Company has got to go on your to-do list. They're 100% Australian owned and have an array of unique and unusual beers. There's up to 10 on tap at any one time, plus bottled specials. Any of these beers can be coupled beautifully with a scrumptious meal from the brewery restaurant. If you want to learn all about their craft beer, you can take an informative brewery tour which run daily.
When I say mash in, that's another big difference between us and the bigger companies. We use malted grain for our sugars. They use bucket loads of sugar from sugarcane. It's a much cheaper alternative for them, but the sugars you get from malt are a lot better for you and they give a much better flavour. It is expensive using malted grain, but that's what we use. We want a top product at the end.
Now, you won't find a more beautiful spot to have a relaxing meal than right here at Crest Beach. They've got it all, including an outdoor area where you can just sit back and enjoy pristine views of the gorgeous blue water and white sandy beaches. It's also the perfect spot for an event or gathering with friends and family. Their modern menu is all about simple, fresh food with lots of flavour. They have a variety of dishes to choose from, including several with an emphasis on fresh seafood, ideal for beachside dining. Crest have a convenient kiosk where you can indulge in a cool milkshake while you head off to enjoy the spectacular surrounds that Port Stephens has to offer. Well, life is simply too short for bad food and wine, so it's time to indulge your senses and combine delicious food, great wine and this sensational location. It's just another reason to love Port Stephens.